Consider this. 5 ladies locked together for more than 400 years. They've been in festivals and playhouses all over the globe. They know each other's quirks, habits, can finish each other's sentences, and order each other's food and drink. Hashtag Sex in the City. Or could it be hashtag the Twilight Zone? Welcome to the Twilight Zone, where we find ourselves in Juliet's garden, set in fair Verona. I've been asked to provide a prologue as in Romeo and Juliet to set the stage for the play to come. However, I shall do it in plain English. Hashtag iambic pentameter. What? Anyway, the story goes, Juliet Capulet has called a meeting of her favorite heroines and Mr. S to see if he would consider changing some of the plot points. Now, Juliet, Ophelia, and so-and-so are frankly tired of being killed. They want to have their stories reclassified as comedies. Hashtag I want to live. Now, Katharina from Taming of the Shrew and Portia from the Merchant of Venice, both considered comedies, want their stories changed to tragedies. Hashtag, are you kidding me? So, Mr. S decided to delegate this loathsome task to his literary agent, Jacqueline Du Bois. It is her sorry lot to contribute in a very different way. Hashtag, are you kidding me, Jackie? So, for those of you who are not students of Shakespeare, I have a crash course about the plays to come. I call it Shakespeare 101. Portia.
Thank you. I am Portia from Merchant of Venice. I am a wealthy, beautiful, and intelligent heiress. Bassanio wins my hand in marriage, but his fortune was on loan from his friend Antonio, who actually borrowed the money from Shylock, a Jewish moneylender. When Antonio cannot pay back the money, Shylock demands his pound of flesh as per the contract. I think, as a male, I pose as a male lawyer and contrive to, with some legalese, for Shylock to lose his estate and to become a Christian. Hashtag I'm thinking. Hashtag all that glitters is not gold.
And Katharina.
I'm Katharina from Taming of the Shrew. My plot is simple. Nobody will marry me because they think I'm a shrew. Petruchio pains me with psychological torment. Hashtag, can you say misogynist? Hashtag, funny, you don't look shrewish.
and our playful Ophelia.
Oh, I am Ophelia from Hamlet. Dear Hamlet is the Prince of Denmark, and his uncle kills his father and marries his mother. Talk about dysfunctional. Does this drive Hamlet crazy, or is he just faking it? My father tells me to give back Hamlet's love letter, and he accuses me of immodesty. Hashtag get thee to a nunnery. Dominus vobis vobis spiritus sancti, amen. Then Hamlet mistakenly kills my father. People want to know why I go crazy. Is it because I'm pregnant with Hamlet's child? Or is it my... Or could it be Hamlet's rejection? Or is it just baby brain? Hashtag to be or not to be. Hashtag something is rotten in the state of Denmark.
And our classy Desdemona.
I am Desdemona. I am the daughter of a Venetian senator. And I elope with Othello, who is a general and a Moor. Caused quite the scandal. Iago, his treacherous ensign, planted my handkerchief in another man's room. Othello believed me to be unfaithful, and the handkerchief is, in his mind, a smoking gun. So he smothers me. Hashtag I've been framed. Hashtag I will wear my heart on my sleeve.
Oh, Juliet.
Hey, I'm like Juliet from like Romeo and Juliet. How many of you read my play in school? How many of you have seen one of the movies? Seen like two of the movies? Okay, so you know my story, so my hashtag is party.
See if you can tell the real Shakespeare quotes from the fake ones. You may be surprised.
Marissa? Oh, hello. Yeah, right. Sorry. Excuse me. Sorry. Gotta get by. Sorry. Oh, that looks painful. Sorry. So sorry. Yeah, I'm glad you got my text message, right? I apologize, but I really have to take this. Yes, I know, right? I must take this because you've got to double check that address for me. I can't seem to find Juliet's house. Please do that. I really can't. Oh, okay. Yeah. This looks like it. Thanks. I appreciate that. Goodbye.
It is you, isn't it?
I know. Okay.
I haven't seen you since we were double billed in Ontario a few seasons ago. Oh, interesting costume concept.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the designer?
Well, I mean, it was from a very modern production at Center Stage in Baltimore. And I do not know who the designer was, but I'm telling you, I think it rather fits the role, don't you think?
Well, you look great. How the hell are you?
I'm fine. Actually, I say, Catherine, you by any chance looking for the house of Juliet Capulet as I am?
You're darn right. And here it is. I've been here before.
Mm-hmm.
I must say, I was really surprised that Juliet, out of all of us, had the nerve to call this little meeting. Who else is coming? Do you know?
No, not exactly. We, the principal female characters, of course, but I really don't know who else. I must confess, I'm a little surprised to see you here.
Oh, really? Well, do you know who else is coming? Is the old man going to be there?
The old man? You mean the bard? Yeah, well, I have no idea. I have come merely to observe the proceedings and judge the merits of the complaints on a case-by-case basis. And if I can offer any advice or counsel that may be useful, I'll do it. Hmm. Oh, good afternoon. Is this the house of Juliet Capulet?
What, you don't believe me?
Well, I mean, I didn't mean to
Oh,
imply.
my, yes. This is the home of the Capulet. Please come in. This is Juliet's favorite garden. God forbid, where is this girl? Oh, now by my maidenhead, I bade her come. Oh, what, Juliet?
Hello, I'm like on the phone on my TikTok video.
She'll be joining you shortly. May I get you something to drink? Not for me.
No, not at the moment, but thank you.
Then excuse me while I attend to some details inside.
Just a minute. Don't I know you from somewhere?
Well, dearie, I'd wonder if you didn't. Right now, I'm Juliet's nurse, as you know, but you probably remember me as the widow in your play.
Oh, the widow.
Widow. I also have the enormous good fortune to appear as mistress. Quickly, in a few of the histories, I take very good care of that rogue Sir John Falstaff.
Oh, that must be exhausting.
Oh, to be sure. To be sure. Oh, yes, that he is. Oh, you mean playing all three candidates, ma'am? To the characters. Oh, yes, especially all those festivals where they run my shows simultaneously, and I have to dash back and forth from scene to scene. Sometimes it's just impossible everywhere I go. Well, I must attend to my duties.
Ophelia, I told you to wait for me, my dear.
Oh, Rosemary, for remembrance. I think you need that, Desdemona.
What? Do you think I'm becoming addlepated? That I'm losing my mind like you, young lady?
Oh, not your mind, Desi, just your memory. Oh, you could have avoided so much trouble if you just remembered where you left that handkerchief. Then that nasty old Iago would never have
Now I was a victim of knavery and malevolence, not of a failing memory, my dear. Oh, and his terrible jealousy. And never did I give him cause.
Oh, you're not the only victim, Desdemona. It makes me so sad that Hamlet thinks that I am as wicked and black with corruption as his dreadful mother. Oh, the poor boy. He thinks all women are whores.
Ophelia!
He does. He thinks all women act like whores. He overhears my father plotting to use me to find out why Hamlet is acting so oddly. I know he overhears the conversation because he accuses me of prostituting myself, of letting myself be used by a man. Oh. A nunnery indeed. Perhaps that is where I shall end up after all. Who knows?
Oh, dear, surely.
I've tried to be a good girl, a trusting girl, an obedient girl. I've done all I can do until I just can't take it anymore.
Oh, sweet Ophelia, believe me, not all men think that way about women.
Oh, Desdemona. Why is Othello suspicious of you? Never. Ladies, welcome. Welcome, ladies. Here is some refreshment for all of you. Juliet. Look, squirrel. Well, Juliet will be known soon. Her mother, the lady of the house, well, and a good lady, and a wise and a virtuous lady, has her closeted in council. I am told to see to your needs.
Okay, well, we are fine, nurse, really, but thank you.
Well, very well then, ladies.
Okay. Desdemona,
Lovely
how
to
lovely
see
to see you. That is very lovely fabric. Where are you playing?
Missouri rep. Ain't it great?
And you, and you as well, Ophelia. Are you well?
Well, well, well. Yes, indeed. Very well. All's well that ends well.
I suppose. Yes, indeed. Very well.
You know, she had on a perfectly lovely little yellow silk when I picked her up at the Pasadena production, but she insisted on choosing her own outfit.
I told you I'm not playing this weekend, so I dressed myself. Tyrone Guthrie, Utah Shakespeare Festival, Wilmington Drama League, and Reed College.
You know, Portia, I know why I'm here, but what issues could you possibly have with the old man? I mean, you're the heroine, the wise one, the objective thinker, the one with all the great lines.
She's the one who gets to make fools out of all the male characters.
And you get your man.
And she gets to make fools out of every single one of the male characters. Exactly how many suitors are there? Let's see. We have the Neapolitan Prince
Oh, all he talks about is his horses.
and the County Palatine.
Oh, such a sad, dour little man.
Oh, the French Lord.
Oh, please, really?
And Monsieur Le Bon. Oh, and Falconbridge.
Oh, Falconbridge, those clothes. And then there's what? The Scottish Lord and the Duke of Saxony's nephew. Who else?
Oh, come on. They were all fortune hunters, all of them. I mean, well, it is true. I mean, I am the heroine, and I do get to make fools out of a number of the male characters. But there is just one small element in the plot that disturbs me. And, well, beyond that, I simply want to support my fellow heroines.
Hey, girl. Sorry I wasn't here to greet you.
Oh,
Good to see you.
Oh, my God.
Nice. Gnarly, right?
Yeah.
Stratford, Ontario. I know the designer. Very pretty. Thank you. Okay, girl, so you're all comfortable and you're happy in my beautiful garden
Well,
here
yes, it's
in
very
Fair
lovely.
Verona.
Very
So
lovely.
it seems to me, as we cross paths over the past several seasons, we seem to have issues with some of our roles,
White wine.
some character issues, and inevitability of plot, I might say. And so I called this meeting here to see if we could get some of these issues like fixed, you know. This meeting is totally against my daddy's wishes. Every time I mention Mr. Shakespeare's name, he breathes fire and spews ash from his ears. He himself has issues with his role and his character, but my mom, OMG, she is totally down with this whole meeting, which is really surprising because she always goes along with whatever daddy decides.
Listen, we've all been wondering, will the old man himself come this afternoon?
I would like to say, like, yes, but it seems he doesn't see very many people these days. So he's sending his representative, a Miss Jacqueline Du Bois. Yes, I know. I met her, and she's really kind, and she should be here shortly. And you know what, guys? She's like totally Rasta.
Oh, I knew he wouldn't come.
Oh, come on, Katharina. I'm sure Mrs. Du Bois will be most helpful.
Oh, wait, here she comes.
Oh,
Look who I found in the side garden, right next to that lovely pool of shallow gray water.
Oh, you
Oh,
poor, dear, sweet thing.
Jackie,
Juliet,
welcome,
darling, how are you? Good to see you.
Yes, you know everybody. Katharina,
Kate, Taming of the Shrew, we've met.
Desdemona,
Othello, hello again, darling.
and you know Portia.
Merchant of Venice, nice to see
And
you.
then there's, Ophelia over there.
Othello, of course, Hamlet, Portia, how are you? Ophelia, yes, of course, Hamlet, nice to see you, darling. So, are you expecting anybody else?
Well, Titania thought she might flutter in a bit, but she's having a time of it. She's like playing at like the Laguna Playhouse and a little theater in Pennsylvania. She may not make that.
Oh, I know. Sometimes these schedules are just impossible. Constantly dashing from place to be where you're needed. I saw Titania just last week up in Oregon.
Ooh, what was she wearing?
Purple.
Yeah.
They've got all the fairies in purple this year in Ashland. She was terribly busy, though, poor thing.
Oh, yes. She's so popular. It's, let me tell you, as always, I just closed at the Public in New York.
Ooh.
And they're having her back next season.
Really?
Yes. I don't get it. It's always about the fairies. What about Hermia? She loves Lysander. And her father will put her to death if she doesn't marry who her father chooses for her, Demetrius. Death! That's not kidding around. People miss the point. She is going to die or get sent to a nunnery by the Duke for life. All she wants is a little control over her life. That's why she runs into the forest. But, oh no, it's all about the fairies. They get the big marketing hype.
Well, well. I see there are definitely some issues to be discussed. So, let's get started. Who's first?
Okay, guys, is it okay? Me? Okay, good. Okay, Jackie, I just want you to know we didn't call you here just to attack you personally, because we know you're only, Will's publisher
And literary agent.
and literary agent,
That's right.
to be sure. But it seems to me, and to all of us, that if you could just change some of the plots.
Yeah,
you know?
maybe, after all these years, an update?
Yeah, that's it. Make our lives easier.
An update.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Well, heaven knows. I mean, some of us have very little to complain of.
But I, for example, fail to understand, and you guys think this too, why I can't simply wake up. Yes. You've seen an affair to remember. You think the same thing, right? Just why can't she not cross the street over the building? So I just want to wake up, and I know everyone in the audience is thinking the same thing, night after night, just before my Romeo drinks his poison. He wouldn't have to die, and I wouldn't have to stab myself, which is really a nuisance every performance.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
And what about us?
I'm sorry.
Us, the dead girls. Drowned, smothered,
Stabbed.
I mean, we all have legitimate complaints, but it's a whole different story when you have to die every single show.
Yes, the stabbed, smothered, and drowned girls. Maybe somebody should write a rap song about us.
Oh, great.
Oh,
Hey, let's do a TikTok video, right?
Okay, I'll do
that would be
it. Here we go.
fantastic.
Here we go. I'm
Okay,
ready
let's
to
see.
shoot. Let's go. Yeah, get it
Oh,
on. I went, oh my goodness.
Oh, this should be so much fun. All right. Okay, good. All right.
Ready?
Yes, ready?
On three.
1, 2, 3.
To say that we're puppets of men's ideas, an argument can be found. But how can we argue for what we believe when we're down, smothered, drowned? Could it be just a matter of course when we're never allowed to feel remorse? Without feeling felt our hearts renowned when we're down, smothered, drowned. Live
living happily after is not in the cards for we ladies there. For that would our cause forever confound when we're down, smothered, drowned, weeping, down, smothered, drowned, always down, smothered, drowned. Yeah!
Yeah,
That was so good.
that works.
Yeah,
That's great.
you.
Thank you. Well, that was lovely. But excuse me if I am trying to keep this straight. So you, Juliet, wouldn't actually die? Is that it?
Ooh, that would really destabilize your storyline, wouldn't it?
Jackie, I think what she's trying to say is that we're just looking for a happy ending, that's all.
Hold on. There is a happy ending. The Montagues and the Capulets reconcile over Romeo and Juliet's dead body. Isn't that good enough? He's gonna love this one.
Okay, why can't they reconcile over my attempted suicide? Like the friar intended? Just to scare him, just to let him know that I'd rather die than marry that putrid Paris as
But
if
that
me
would
with
mean
I think it's a lovely idea. Just as I think it would be a lovely idea if Hamlet could just for one moment reveal his true feelings to me, rather than driving me insane with confusion.
it just doesn't work, though, does it? What sends you over the edge in this tragedy is the combination of your mutual unfulfilled love and the fact that Hamlet killed your father. I mean, that is really the biggie, isn't it?
Oh, yes, but it would just be nice.
Oy vey. Did I hear the word nice? So let me get this straight. You want everybody to live happily ever after. Is that it?
Yes, yes.
Is there something wrong with that?
Well, is there?
works for me.
Except that Romeo and Juliet is a tragedy.
You want to see a tragedy? I'll show you a tragedy. Being humiliated by your intended husband at every turn, that's a tragedy. Being kept waiting at the altar, that's a tragedy. Being made fun of, dragging through the muck and the mire in my wedding dress. That's a tragedy!
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I know it might not seem quite rational to you. I mean, especially since it is performed today in the 21st century, especially since it's not very politically correct. And even I admit, it's very humiliating in some ways, but I don't know if you have much of a case there, Katharina. It really is all very funny.
I thought this would be one place that I would get support.
Now, Katharina, yours is just one of the issues we're talking about today. I mean, look at my story. Amid the unrelenting betrayal of my story, why in heaven's name am I undone by, of all things, a misplaced handkerchief? My Othello can't be that stupid, can he? I mean, just read the reviews. After 400 years, and don't we look good after 400 years? I've been described as the gentle Desdemona, the true and loving wife of Othello, a maiden never bold, the sweetest innocent who ever lift up eye. And yet, others have called me courageous and of unusual intelligence and imagination to marry the Moor, which went against all custom and tradition. So I ask you, am I a complete idiot? Or am I an inspiring heroine?
I believe he might refer to you as complicated.
And strong, rational, complicated women are, I am afraid, few in any of our plays.
I think you might be like a little sensitive on that point, Portia.
And I don't agree with you at all. And I know he would not agree. There's Cleopatra.
Oh, Lady Macbeth! 1, 2, 3.
And Gertrude, my own Hamlet's mother.
I did say rational.
What a crew! Strong women. Or sleepwalking homicidal maniacs. Oh.
What a collection of women. Role models all, surely.
What about Katharina's example of Hermia in Midsummer's Night Dream? She's strong, courageous, and romantic. She has the courage to run away when her own father threatens her with death rather than marry her father's choice, a man whom she doesn't love.
Oh, MG, she is totally my hero.
And Rosalind in As You Like It. There's courage and strength and determination.
Yeah, but she's got to dress like a boy to accomplish all her goals.
Well, I mean, I am certainly familiar with that tactic.
Yes, it's true. Rosalind does dress like a boy, then disappears from the knowledge of her lover. But the entire audience knows that under the doublet beats the heart of a heroine.
Ah, give me a break.
Well, it sounds familiar. I mean, if you want to have the freedom to speak in a male-dominated world, sometimes you have to dress like a man.
Oh.
Or at least adopt the attitude that putting on men's clothes can actually give you.
What do you mean? Your attitude changes?
Yeah, I have talked to other pants roll girls. I mean, many times it's universal. I mean, your voice changes, your walk, you kind of swagger a little bit, and you actually feel taller. It's very interesting.
Okay, I think we're getting a little off target here, girls.
Yes, I think so too. If I may,
Yes,
I believe I can make a summation of sorts.
go for it, Jack.
We have female characters from 3 tragedies and 2 comedies with issues about their plots.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Now, I am trying to keep this straight, but it seems as if the characters in the comedies think their shows should be tragedies, and the characters in the tragedies believe they should have happy endings, which might not exactly make them comedies, but would seriously affect their dramatic content.
Objection.
I beg your pardon, Portia.
I hadn't planned to bring up any of my own issues, but I suppose I should make it quite clear that I have a problem with Merchant. I mean, it's classified as a comedy, but ask Shylock if it's a comedy, and you would get a different answer, I'm sure. When all his worldly goods are forfeit, and this Jewish gentleman is forced against his will to become a Christian? I mean, that's certainly a tragedy for old Shylock. That's one reason I was surprised to see Katharina when we arrived. I mean, one true comedy amongst all these outright tragedies.
I claim the plot of Shrew is a tragedy. Of sorts. Well, it is for me at any rate. To be humiliated into submission. Is there something funny about that?
And then he loves you like better than a BFF forever and like ever.
Well, there is that. But I've often wondered, does the means justify the end? I've wondered that. What about all the message we're sending to all of these women who have followed us over the years. We have had 4 centuries of being belittled, betrayed, and bullied. And I think we've had enough.
Yes.
Here, here. Good job.
In many ways, I agree with you, you know. Do you have any idea what a marketing nightmare producing crew represents these days? But kidding aside, I don't mean to trivialize your thoughts. This is tough. What about your example of Hermia? What about your final speech in the play? The longest in the script, I might add. Frothing over with obedience and duty, chastising other women for her shrewish behavior. Let us hear some of that to remind us, Katharina.
Thy husband is thy Lord, thy life, thy keeper, one that cares, thy head, thy sovereign, one that cares for thee, and for thy maintenance commits his body to painful labor, both by sea and land, to watch the night in storms, the day in cold, whilst thou liest warm at home, secure and safe, and craves no other tribute by thy hand than love, fair looks, and obedience.
Oh, please.
Too little payment for so great a debt.
Now, wait a minute, girls. Surely you can hear the sarcasm, the mocking glee she takes in ruffling Petruchio's feathers. Go ahead, Katharina, don't mind them.
I am ashamed that women are so simple to offer war. They should move for peace and seek for rule, supremacy, and fear when they are bound to serve, love, and obey.
Oh,
come
I mean,
on.
really,
Must
Jackie,
we?
Jackie, is there a reason why you're torturing us like this?
Yes,
Oh, let's
can't
hear
you
it.
hear it? Shakespeare is making a huge statement about men's inflexibility and women's adaptability. And in the end, Katharina keeps her own kind of control.
Very few of my actresses play her that way.
Speak to them. Suggest it. You are the timeless essence of your character. Whisper your thoughts to them. They all need guidance.
I will. Thank you.
It seems to me, and I do still have the occasional lucid moment, that our dear Bard expects us to make sacrifices of some kind, for the purpose of the story, of course.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Ophelia. Did you all hear that?
Mm-hmm.
And what do you all think is the purpose of his plays?
Well, like to be amusing, to make us laugh,
That's one.
To teach.
To teach what?
to teach us about ourselves.
About power and control.
Yeah, and about greed and injustice.
About the irony of misthought actions.
And the tragic consequences of jealousy.
And about being just like human.
Okay, so what you would have left is that in order to teach these things that you all feel are important, you all have some sort of sacrifice to make, As Ophelia so aptly stated, thank you, Ophelia. Ah,
Yes, but
you know, we are the person we are because of our experiences. Be those experiences good or not very good, they make us who we are.
So what you're
Let
saying?
us take.
Oh, no, not yet.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, so
fine,
but-
darling. Yes.
No, go
Let
ahead.
us take one character at a time as an example. You would like to eliminate from your plot your painful experiences, some disgraceful episodes, some mortifying circumstances.
I wouldn't miss the muck and the mire.
But would you be willing to go back to the state of inexperience and ignorance you were in before all these things happened?
Oh, good grief, you're being awfully philosophical here. Well, I was quite a shrew, and I'm so much happier now.
Oh, Katharina, this is a very surreal conversation.
Well, what about you, Ophelia? What if you were to go back to your old state? Do you think you would still commit the same folly over again?
Sadly, I'm afraid I would. Well, now, Portia, don't you be so smug over there. I mean, how many of us would be willing to wipe out all our experiences? I mean, they're part of our character, and they make up a portion of our nature. Speak to Shylock about that sometime.
Well, I will.
Okay, you guys, I am like totally confused.
Mhm.
I mean, there's so many like secondary plots and like subplots and like side plots and like parallel plots.
Yes, Juliet.
Thank you.
But the plots have their roots in the experience of the characters.
So what you're saying is that in order to give up experiences gained, even through pain, we would first have to give up one part of ourselves, and then another part of ourselves, until we were left with nothing but the shell of our former self.
Well, I'm sure Titania would be grateful, definitely, to escape falling in love with a donkey at every performance. But listen, girls, we have a responsibility of being able to say to our guests, "Milady, if I may, I have been listening to your complaints, or that is it, issues, this whole afternoon, and I must speak now.
Oh, go for it, nurse.
By my troth, miladies, be yourselves. Be you. Generations, I should say centuries of ladies, have felt what you all have felt. Have looked up to you, cried with you, been angry with you, and left the theater realizing something about themselves which you helped them discover.
Nurse. Nurse is right. There were these two feuding families in Boston in 1822. And by some chance, they were both at a showing of Romeo and Juliet on the same evening. And they ended their feud so that their young people could be happy. And surely you all remember how that fellow Leonard Bernstein took Juliet's great love and turned it into West Side Story. Well, that woke up a lot of people in the same way in the 20th century.
Oh, I feel pretty. Oh, so pretty. I feel pretty.
Ophelia, sit.
Go ahead, nurse.
A woman saw Othello in Toronto in 1953 and swore an end to her relationship
with a jealous and angry man.
Yes! Sorry.
And one young cantankerous woman in Denver in 1892 watched Truth and decided that to get the love she wanted and needed, she so desperately wanted, that she needed to become lovable. No offense, ma'am.
None taken. But don't swear not to bring up the silly Cole Porter musical Kiss Me Kate.
No.
My life may be a farce, but a musical? I don't think so.
The list goes on and on over 4 centuries, all over the planet. You ladies know the stories. Don't water it down to make it more palatable and fashionable for today's audiences. Mr. S may have made our lives a little difficult at times, but you know he sees right into our hearts and shows us our whole society's strengths and failures.
I don't know. I'm just exhausted.
And so you should be. It's exhausting work, but it's your job.
Indeed. Every new generation of women needs to be reminded of how far women have come since the self-destructive patriarchy of the 16th century.
Well said, Desdemona.
Shakespeare's women, all of us, we break the stereotype of a woman's influence in a man's world.
Yeah, let's face it. I mean, some of us are able to solve problems that the men can't fix in ways they would never even dream of.
Just knowing that should make you just a little less exhausted.
It does, Jackie. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Jackie, don't go! Now, ladies, I have some nice chilled dill cucumber soup, some roasted chicken from sausage, and some green tomatoes in a roasted garlic vinaigrette. And a bottle of bubbly wine with the mine to me.
I'm gonna go.
Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Oh. Mr. S, I believe you owe me one now. Don't you think?
What is it now?
Well, don't you think the widow and shrew might have just a few more lines? So somebody remembers me?
I suppose something could be done.
And about that Falstaff.
Oh, now come on. You're not going to start arguing with me about Falstaff again, are you? I'm hungry. Let's just go eat. Shakespeare, played by Al Glover. At the far end, we have Bob Powell playing Rod Serling. Next to him, Wendy Haynes as Portia. Kate Barkley as Katharina. Elisa Sanger Kaplan as the nurse. Barbara Powell as Juliet. Debbie Drenning as Desdemona. Robin LaValle as Ophelia. And my literary agent and publisher, Jacqueline Du Bois, played by Sybil Moore. And now our director, the famous Donna Valenti.